welcome back to the Style Symposium. My name is Dr. Sandra Colton-Medici, and I am here joined by designer stylist Lisa Hunter of Vian Studios. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Yes, well, so we have a lot to talk about today because in the Style Symposium, we are covering fashion, beauty, leadership, and all things encompassing female empowerment for entrepreneurs and small business owners. And so you kind of encompass quite a few. You tick a lot of these boxes. And so let's talk about your journey as a designer and a stylist first, and then we'll get into a lot of other topics.
Yeah. Well, I toured the fashion design school at age 18 in San Francisco, and I was just awestruck by it. And I knew I was not ready for it. So I waited, and instead I worked in retail. And I went on my journey. I got married, I had babies. And 20 years later, I went back to the same school and I registered. I was 36 years old. I got my fashion design degree at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. I was like the old one there in my late 30s. And after I graduated, I launched a clothing line and opened a retail store in Palo Alto, California. And I had my retail line for 10 years, a retail store and clothing line. And it was very much Audrey Hepburn influenced, like late 50s, early 60s, very feminine, a lot of little black dresses. And so that was an amazing experience. I participated in fashion shows. And after 10 years of doing that, I decided to have a break from manufacturing and the brick and mortar. So I went to work at Nordstrom as a personal stylist. And that was my first time really doing personal styling like that. And I loved it. I learned so much about virtual styling, well, in the last year and a half. And working with the transgender community. Also, that's where I got inspired to help out that community, which is one thing I'm doing now. So last month, I decided to launch my own businesses, and I have launched Vian Studios Personal Styling and also Bell River Clothing. So I've launched a new clothing line, which is this time not so much late 50s, early 60s. It's more linen, easy breezy, stylish tops and denim jackets, and just totally different.
I love it though. You have an eclectic amount of, you've got your own sense of purpose. And I think that is really important when we're thinking about getting our authenticity to show, and also just bringing out some of the elements that maybe a lot of people don't see, the flavor that we have. And I think that if you were giving the Audrey Hepburn before, and now you're giving kind of easy breezy, linen, that's all part of you, and so I always emphasize when we're thinking about personal style and bringing it out, is that you might have a lot of different flavors, and today your flavor is,
absolutely
vanilla or swirl or whatever. So
yes, we don't stay the same. We're not the same style throughout our lives. It's just not. When I go back and I look at what I did 15 years ago, that's just not who I am now.
Exactly. Well, and so many people that are moving their businesses forward, like you, just starting two brand new, entities. I think it's really great to understand that the evolution is very important. A lot of times we go into business and, you start before you're ready, right? And as you go, you're like, oh, I think I need to lean into this. I think I need to do more of this. People are gravitating to this side of it. So let's kind of do a little bit more of that. So when you think about how your style or your point of view, how would you describe your own personal style?
I want to say I'm an extreme minimalist. I really I tell my clients I'm a fashion designer and I am a stylist. I'm a wardrobe consultant, and I have no tolerance getting dressed in the morning. It's got to be just fast. I have so many things I want to do during the day besides duking it out in my closet. So I am just really a minimalist. I happen to really like black, and black makes it easy to get dressed, and I just feel like it looks good on me. But I am, with the pandemic and changes in the world, changes in fashion, I am working more color into my wardrobe now. But I'm also sort of a split personality, as I think we all kind of are. I have that edgy side where I like Rick Owens, and I like, well, I used to like Jean-Paul Gaultier, and, but I like kind of black, gothy, edgy stuff. But then I also have the super feminine side, and I just love feminine clothing. So I think we all kind of have that split. There are times when we go one direction, and there are times when we go another direction.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if I answered your question.
No, you did. You so did. Well, so your direction actually led you to Fashion Star. So can you talk about this experience a little bit, and maybe how it might have shaped where you have, now landed?
Yeah. Fashion Star was a great experience. I tried out for Project Runway, and I made it very far. I met Tim Gunn and that whole thing. And then it came down to me. And again, I was in the old lady category. I was 40 something at that time. And so they picked the other woman. I ended up on a casting list, and I got a notice from NBC that they're launching this new show called Fashion Star, and it's about the business of fashion. And it just really intrigued me, because I'm not so much interested in the Project Runway is really fun because of the drama. But personally, I would rather not be involved in that. And so Fashion Star was about designing clothes, and then Saks Fifth Avenue and H&M would bid on it, and Macy's would bid on the items. And then the winner would actually, those stores would produce your item and sell them in the stores. And that I thought that was great. It was Jessica Simpson and Nicole Richie and John Varvatos. And so I made it on the show, and they sent me to LA, and I was there for 2 weeks. It was like the opposite of Project Runway. Like, we were in a nice hotel. We all had our own rooms, and there was just maybe that's why the show only lasted a few seasons, because there just wasn't extreme drama. But it was just the most amazing experience. And Macy's bought my dress, and they produced it, and my dress sold out in 2 hours. Before the show even aired on the West Coast, the dress was gone.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. I ended up going to New York. I went to Macy's, and there was one lone dress in the store, and I bought it. It was so interesting, buying your own dress someone else manufactured. But yeah, I can't really say how that shaped me. It was an amazing experience. It felt like a once in a lifetime experience. To be walking onto a huge TV set, and it was incredible. But I went home, and we weren't, because I was on the first season and it hadn't aired, I wasn't allowed to talk about it for 8 months. And that was challenging. So I just went about my business, and yeah.
Oh, well, I do think that I've been on a reality TV show too, so I get it. We were sequestered. I couldn't talk about it either.
Yeah.
But after a while, people started like going, oh, these are the people getting kicked off every week. That's the process, right? They like kind of put 2 and 2 together. Well, so you mentioned that you like getting dressed quickly in the morning. So what would you say, for anybody watching, are some quick dressing tips?
Yeah. Number one is like, take the stuff out of the closet that doesn't fit. It's just, nothing is more stressful than looking at those pieces that are in your closet that don't fit. I had a pair of pants in my closet for, I don't know how long, maybe a year, because I just was thinking, well, I might fit back into them. someday. And then finally I just knew, like, this is just not happening. I'm just out with them. So just taking the things out that don't fit. And then when you take them out, there's two choices. It's, do you want to save it for later, or do you want to get rid of it? And I have my clients start a bin called the maybe later bin, things that you want to hold on to, but you don't want to be looking at them every day. So they go in a bin, you put maybe later on it, or revisit in 6 months, put a date for, and just get it out. And then what's left, well, that's another story, but want to have the things tailored that don't fit. That's really important.
Awesome. I think that when you're thinking about the morning, our mornings have changed, right? Where we have a lot of people not getting dressed to go to work. Or maybe just getting dressed from the top up because they're only on camera from that, vantage point.
Yeah, it's even easier.
And then that's even easier. Exactly. So what would you say for, for even business owners who are doing a lot of, Zooming or, GoToMeeting or whatever the conference platform is, to put their best foot forward when they are styling themselves, but they know that the person on the other end knows they're at home? Should we all be dressing up? Should we all be comfortable? Should we kind of be that happy medium? What would be your advice?
Yeah, it's what brings you joy. I know there are companies, they don't give a crap what you're wearing. There's a lot of, schlumpy stuff going on. It just doesn't, some companies just don't care what you're wearing from home, but if it makes you feel better to look nicer and put on lipstick, whatever it is, then go for it. Absolutely. I have a client who we basically worked on her closet and just made it so it's all Zoom friendly clothes, and just moved the gowns out. The gowns are not being worn right now, for the most part, moving the stuff out of the closet that we're not wearing right now and just have it be Zoom friendly. But I think now it's time to start having fun with fashion a little bit. I think we've had our hunker down phase. We've been in our sweats, all that. And, go for the hot pink top, go for a new lipstick, for something fun, and change it up. And, a lot of companies said they were going back to the office this fall, and now they're changing to January. And, so yeah, it's time to find some fun things in the closet, I think.
Definitely. And I think that everybody has that one thing that like gives them joy. And you remind me of like Marie Kondo, right? Where it's like, does this spark joy? Right.
Yes.
And when you are looking at some of the things that you've done, we just had a conversation about completing projects. And I think that one of the biggest things that we don't do is the closet. And so you help people get that together. I think that is a really big project that a lot of people don't want to tackle.
Takes a village.
Right? We have a lot of closets in here, and some of them, the biggest one that I have that has nothing to related to actual clothing is the toy closet. Now, that's because there's missing pieces and Ziploc bags and broken boxes and things like that. And so when you're organizing other people, now, where do you find is like your sweet spot? Is it getting bins together? Is it boxing it up? Is it giving them the opportunity to label things the way they want to? Or are you giving them kind of like the lay of the land, like this needs to be, labeled this way, so because when we were talking about the, completing projects, like I know that if I'm in the closet and I'm like, I'm going to put this here because it's a safe space. Right. And then you're like, where did I put that? I know it was in the right, you know what I mean? So how do you get?
Well, I recommend bins. I have a client who has a lot of closets. And so that's great. She has her resort clothing and her, Hawaii type stuff, summer stuff in a separate closet. That's the summer closet. A lot of people don't have that. And so I recommend bins. I think the bin system is great. I have bins. It's like, I have fall 1. I have the bin that says fall 1. That's like September, October. And then I have the fall 2, kind of winter bins, where it's like November, December, January, February. And just, I don't have that stuff hanging in my closet until it's that season. Or then there's the maybe later stuff, the stuff that doesn't fit, that, I don't want to get rid of. And that goes in maybe later. So it kind of depends on your closet situation, what your storage situation is. But I have a client who has a room that's a closet. She transformed a small room into a closet. And even she uses a bin system and just gets the stuff out of there that she's not currently wearing and has it in wardrobe boxes.
That's awesome. Where do you stand on skinny mirrors?
Skinny mirrors?
Like when you go to a Nordstrom, let's say, and there's a dressing room and you have a mirror. How often are you advising of the people that you're styling to get in that mirror, right? Because I think a lot of people have a negative connotation of what the mirror is. It's either, reaffirming that you have done one thing or not affirming that you have done something else. So where do you stand on mirrors?
I mean, when my mom was in her 70s, 60s, 70s, she took all the mirrors out of her first floor of the house. And she said, I feel so young inside, and I look in the mirror and I don't see what I feel like. So she got rid of them. But we do need to have a mirror. We do need to have a mirror. And so I think we need to have a full length mirror. Everyone should have a full length mirror in their bedroom area, closet, whatever, to see what the outfit is head to toe. But I think, the goal is to have outfits that you can put on quickly that make you happy. And when you look in the mirror, you will be happy. And it's just putting on those things that don't fit right. And, you don't really like it, but it's still in your closet, and you put it on and you look in the mirror and you're not happy. So I really just think it stems from what's in the closet, and having the goal is that my goal for my clients is you open your closet and everything fits perfectly and everything you love. And it's all from the current season. And that way you're just getting dressed fast and you're happy with what you're putting on, and there shouldn't be a problem with the mirror.
Yeah. So, right. That should be the least of your problems. When you think about business, because you just kind of put full force into these two businesses, where do you see yourself as having, using style to bring forward your confidence in your leadership ability for those businesses? Because it's hard to manage one, right? Let alone two, to say, okay, well, this is what's going to empower me today. Is it your wardrobe? Is it the fact that you don't have to stress about your wardrobe? Is it knowing that you're going to step foot into some sort of Zoom meeting and you know that you look good, so you're going to, express yourself even better? Where do you get your confidence through your style to project your leadership?
Well, this doesn't really have to do with style, but first thing I do is make my bed. And I feel like I make the bed, I can do this. Okay. Makes me feel, kind of organized and ready to start. I think partnering with a beauty stylist is great. If you're not comfortable with your beauty routine, partnering with someone in beauty and having them help you to pick out that lipstick color that makes you feel happy, or, a simple makeup routine is great. And comfort. I'm just all about comfort. I think, finding those clothes that you put on that make you feel good and you're comfortable in is just going to get you through the day, and it's going to make you feel great. I remember after the lockdown, I put on a pair of skinny jeans. I had been wearing sweats, whatnot, jammies. And I put on my skinny jeans and I felt like my legs were being strangled. I was so uncomfortable and I just couldn't get them off fast enough. Yeah. And so, everything have just loosened up in the fashion realm. And I just think, going for comfort. And there are free services as well for styling and beauty. Nordstrom offers them. I'd say, partner up with people, friends, whatever works.
Right. Well, so you mentioned partnering up with people and free services. You're actually starting to work with the trans community. And part of that is on a free basis, at least
Yeah.
during some parts of your work week. So
Yep.
can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Well, I worked with trans women at Nordstrom when I was there as a stylist, and my heart goes out to that community. Starting, changing your gender and being comfortable in a store trying on clothes. Whew, it is really, really difficult process, and I want to help that community. And so right now I'm working with transgender teenage girls and helping them figure out their style. And they don't know what their style is, and they want to fit in, but they don't want to stand out too much. And going from wearing sweatpants to finding jeans. That's what I'm doing tomorrow with one of my clients. And she's trying on girls jeans for the first time tomorrow. She's been wearing sweatpants and t-shirts, and it's like, no, let's go. We're going to go to Nordstrom and we're just going to play. It's a safe place. Just try on. She's going to try on her first dress, her first skirt. And if we walk away with just a couple items, that's great. That's just a start. So yeah.
Being comfortable, number one, in your own skin for everyone across, all genders is really, it's a hard thing. I think a lot of times, I spoke about this in a previous interview that, we all kind of had a lot of time on our hands in the last 2 years, right? In 2020, 2021, we have had a lot of time to think about what we want to do, where we want to go, and presenting ourselves in that way is hard. Just on a regular basis, right?
Right. Let alone changing your gender.
If you are a transgender person and are battling a lot of negative comments that maybe you see online, or friends or family that are not exactly on board, or wherever that might be coming from, that is not a positive vibe you're feeling. I think that it just adds a lot of weight, and if style can bring out you,
yes,
and how good that makes you feel, then more power to you. So I am so excited to hear that you are working with the transgender community, in addition to so many other things that you are doing. So I just want people to know about your Belle River clothing. If you want to check out her clothing, like we mentioned before, she's doing a line of linen right now, but there's going to be jean jackets and there are a whole bunch of other things coming. You can go to belleriverclothing.com. She also has jewelry on there that is to die for. If you are needing a signature piece, I just actually put this on Instagram. I said, what is your signature piece for September? Like, what are you transitioning to from this hot girl summer,
right.
to your signature element? Is it feathers? Is it leather? I know she's got a lot of different cuffs and things like that on her website. So you have homework to do. I'm giving every viewer homework to do. You can go to belleriverclothing.com to check her out on her designs, but also she is helping people with their personal styling. So if you want to go to her vianstudios.com, you will see all of her personal styling packages, from just cleaning out your closet to getting into your your executive suite look, and getting it down. She has you covered. Do you want to kind of give them any kind of kind of a breakdown of what they would get from you as far as like the process of doing some of the personal styling experiences with you?
Yeah, well, it starts with the closet. And I have worked with clients virtually, as well as in person. It can be done virtually. And really, we start with the closet left to right. Let's look at it and see, what are you wearing? What are you not wearing? What needs to be tailored? Let's just get that hammered out. And then we usually end up with a list of items that are needed. And then I can help out finding those pieces. I need the perfect t-shirt. I need a new jacket. Whatever the missing pieces are, new boots for fall. Finding those pieces and then getting the stuff. If it is an in-person thing, it's getting the stuff out of there and figuring out, is it going to a consignment store? Is it going to be donated? Is it going to go to a resale? There's all different choices. But yeah, like I said, the end goal is you open your closet and everything fits perfectly and you love it all. That's where we want to get. It's just like, we're all busy people. We just don't need to be duking it out in the morning.
I don't need to. I really don't. Everybody has other things to do than worry about, do I need to look through this dreaded mess again,
No.
or like me. It's so funny because my husband and I have two different styles of putting our clothes away. His drawers are like neat, pristine, categorized. And I'm like, is this the folding that's mine? Okay. Into the drawer, like no sort of categorization at all. It's just like, do I need a tank top? Okay, let me see if one's in there. That's right. Me. So it's so funny. It's kind of like the opposites attract that way. But there's a rhyme and reason to why I do it. Because for me, some of the stuff in my drawers is not as important as what's in my closet. Now, my closet is totally different. We've got tops, like a dress top or something like that on one side, dresses, pants, skirts, coats, you know what I mean? Like I've got all totally different, and colors, rainbow.
Oh, right. My mom did that. She had the color rainbow thing. Yeah.
Yep. Because for me, that's like, I need that to be organized. The other, I'm like, I'm just going to bed,
right.
Whatever. But I totally feel you. And I think for me, just like you said, if you can get up in the morning, have it be like, okay, I know what I'm wearing. Everything fits, put it on, bring you joy.
Out the door. Yeah.
Out the door, on the Zoom, wherever you're going to go. And you don't feel like you have that like 15 minutes of like, okay, you know what I mean? Then
but there's an emotional toll for looking at things in your closet that don't fit. It's awful. I mean, I went through that with those pants that I couldn't give up, but they were, I don't know, 2 or 3 sizes too small. Again, it just makes you feel so much happier and lighter, not looking at those things.
It's amazing what it can do.
And it's not easy to do on your own. It's just not, and if you get a group of friends to come over and help out, that's great. If you want to hire someone, that's great. Whatever, just get the ball rolling.
It's funny that you mentioned group of friends, because I was, when I was in my doctorate program, I actually was doing a lot of studying on e-commerce and marketing to online consumers. And one of the things that we had really kind of come to know is that a lot of people like to shop with a best friend or with a family member that can say yes or no to different things. It's kind of like, co-signing your purchase, right? And so if you can get an expert, like Lisa here, to co-sign on the ones that you should be keeping and ixnay on the ones you shouldn't be keeping, right? Similar to when you go out to do the shopping. And a lot of people do that with bathing suits. Like they're like, come in the room with me, but it's the same. And really it's almost like you might need that extra person who's got your best interest at heart. Like a lot of times your friends and family members will be like, oh, I know you love it, so buy it. Instead of being like, that's not gonna rock this fall, right? And really being upfront and honest, which I know that you are with your clients. So you totally reminded me of that. Just having that like co-signing of knowing, except for in your case, you're really putting these, your client's best foot forward in meetings and life, and having that sense of purpose going into planning your wardrobe instead of just kind of like hoping that it works and leaving it there and never getting to it, that I think is really important.
Yeah. You reminded me of something when you mentioned clothes. Oftentimes my clients have items in their closet that were gifts from family members or friends, and they really don't want to keep that piece, but they just can't get rid of it. It's too hard. But having someone come in and say, out, it's okay, it can go. Those are always interesting pieces.
Exactly. Well, all of her information is on the bottom over there. You can see vianstudios.com. Lisa Hunter, thank you so much for joining me on the
Thank
Style
you,
Symposium.
Sandra. I appreciate it.
All right.